Director of Demilitarised Education, which I think is known as DEAD. Right, that's your acronym. I think that's rather good. A UK-based initiative working to end university ties to the arms industry, and since launching DEAD in 2019, she has led the creation of the world's first universities and arms database, uncovering billions in defence sector partnerships and spearheaded the Treaty on Demilitarised Education. So, welcome to the session.
Thank you, and hello everybody. It's really great to be here. And yeah, my journey actually started back in 2017 at the Stop the Arms Fair protest outside the Excel Centre, where I witnessed a whole load of Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament grandmas getting arrested, while the police correctly the Green women are amazing, an absolutely iconic group of campaigners. The police were there protecting war machinery being brought into the Excel Centre to be sold to war criminals. I don't know if anyone here or perhaps watching online were at the Stop the Arms Fair protest this year, but of course it was ramped up more than ever, and we love to see that activation. I honestly had my illusion of what British foreign policy was pulled at that moment, and I went back to university to raise some awareness, only to find out that our education system is also deeply entrenched in arms trade partnerships and military partnerships. And since then, I have been working with campaigners in the peace movement and disarmament movement to build a database that really set out to tackle the issue of student campaign handover. Demilitarisation campaigns have been happening for decades, but as soon as students graduate, that information is lost and the next generation of people are forced to start again. So we do not only track partnerships that the university have with the arms trade, and that means investments, research partnerships and academic partnerships, but we also track campaigns that have happened, what's worked, what hasn't, the networks involved, so that the next generation of students can pick it up much easier and continue momentum forward. So since starting the world's first university and arms database, we have so far uncovered over £2 billion worth of partnerships. And we're in the middle of a massive data pool at the moment, and by the end of the year, early next year, we'll be dropping even more on what's been happening in our institutions. And right now is a monumental moment, and I'm calling on everyone here to join the hundreds and hundreds of us who are already working within our education systems to criticise and scrutinise the military presence that is in our lower education, which is really where a lot of ideological manipulation is taking place, and of course higher education spaces where the economic externality of those investments and those partnership choices are ending us up in perpetual war at a rate that we really haven't seen before. Last week, the UK government launched the 2025 Industrial Defence Strategy, which is set out to invest millions and millions more into making the university system totally entrenched in the war machine. And what I mean by that, for some practicalities to take away, is for the first time, they are actually calling the university space one of their defence industrial bases. They've been trying to hide it in the shadows for a long time, but now they're just opening this is happening, we're investing even further into this. They're also getting UCAS involved to promote defence careers at the point of university recruitment. They are putting forward 24,000 defence apprenticeships a year for students, and they are investing 182 million into creating 5 defence technical centres, which are going to be basically there to prepare students in engineering and technical jobs that will funnel them straight into arms trade positions. This, of course, is deeply worrying, and the Russell groups are welcoming this because of the financial crisis happening in higher education. They are desperate for more income in any way they can get it, even though it completely goes against education values, which are, of course, to make the world a better place, not entrench us in perpetual war. So, a little bit more context on how bad it is. On the 26th of August, 24 people in Sheffield campaigned against the Advanced Manufacturing Research Centre, and I quote, "This was to make it clear that we don't want Sheffield University involved in designing the next generation of weapons of mass destruction." And what they mean by that is Sheffield University has partnered with the Atomic Weapons Establishment and are working on a project called Astraea. Astraea is the development of new nuclear warheads, which are being designed to replace the UK's current whole bomb fleet. This is just one example of many, many case studies we have untracked across the country. In Edinburgh, the AI technologies, at Imperial College, it's autonomous drones. Portsmouth, it's the Navy stuff. Every university has their niche and their own way in which they focus, speciality in how they're helping to advance the military agenda. And this is something we need to counter at every level of education. Again, in lower education years, it's a serious problem too. £90 million since 2012 has been spent promoting military ethos in schools. Military ethos is the need to aggressively defend one's own interests at a time that we'll all agree we need to be coming together, not be looking to defend aggressively our own interests, but community interests. So, and that is Forces Watch's research, so please do check that out. So how we're countering this is we use our data to campaign for adoption of the Demilitarised Education Treaty. This is a call for disclosure on arms partnerships. It's a call for accessibility and inclusion in policy renewal. And what that would lead to is policies which actually exclude arms partnerships. This is also military partnerships. That will lead to divestment, and of course, we are then finishing our campaign with the need for them to reinvest in sustainable, peaceful sectors. And we've already had some great wins. King's College Cambridge actually changed their investment policy and are now divesting from the arms trade. We've had York. So this policy campaigning method is working. However, this new defence industrial strategy is going to make it a lot harder, particularly, as I mentioned earlier, we track investments, research and academic partnerships. Investments is the easiest because it's like the side hustle of the university. Research, some of these partnerships are decades long, and it's much more entrenched in the way that the universities manage their bottom lines. So now that we are working against the tide of increasing militarisation, it is more important that all of us come together to oppose militarism and arms trade presence in all levels of our education system. And every one of us has some level of connection to an educational institution, so please do go out and do that. If you are a university stakeholder, so a student, alumni, or academic or staff member at a university, please do sign our open letter. We are calling and bringing our names together to put a very strong stand against the complicity that our institutions have in wars all across the world. And again, together, our research with Campaign Against Arms Trades research gives a really clear picture of how our educational institutions are developing technologies which are then exported across the world and causing devastation. So, please check us out. And yeah, please be very aware of this new industrial defence strategy. And any conversations happening around it, please be ready to criticise and scrutinise it, because it is a really strong wave of militarism that we're facing.